Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. So today I have the SIM2 Max with the shaft. It's just a regular shaft, and I'm gonna compare it to my M1 stiff shaft. They're both 10.5 of loft, so I'm gonna see if the SIM2, which is I think now probably compared to the M1 is like 6-7 years. This is 6-7 years older, so I want to see if technology has improved and if I can gain some more distance with the SIM Max. So stay tuned. Okay, so I gotta tell you, as soon as I start hitting this SIM Max 2, I felt I was struggling with the shaft because I was losing some to the right, but I was really impressed with how the ball took off from the club face. I mean, it was something unbelievable. I mean, I was hitting the back of the range, so I knew that the shots were farther already than my M1. So this was the dispersion for the SIM2, but you do have to consider that I was hitting really old range balls, so it's going to be much less than a real ball. Okay, so I tried the SIM2 Max. I can tell you that the head is pretty good. I mean, you can feel the ball taking off from the club face. The only problem, unfortunately, this is a regular shaft, so it's a little bit too whippy, so it starts slicing a little bit. But as far as the distance, I can tell you, compared to my M1, definitely it goes farther. Okay, so let's look at the grouping. As you can see, the M1 was much tighter dispersion, but to me, that's due to the shaft, not the actual head. You can see that the SIM Max went farther for sure, but the dispersion was a little bit loose. Again, to me, that's because of the shaft. When we compare the actual carry distance, remember these are range balls, so it's going to be less. Just to get an idea, when I hit with my M1 about like 211 yards at the range, that means that it's about 230 yards with a real ball. So on average, you get 10 more yards with the SIM Max. A little more swing speed, but that's due to the regular shaft for sure. Okay, so this is the dispersion with the ball flight with the SIM Max, and this is the dispersion with the M1. So you can definitely see that it's much tighter. I would agree that it would be better with this, but again, it's due to the shaft. So what I was looking at when I was hitting the shots, I felt like as soon as I made impact, the ball just took off. I mean, it was like an extra. It came really hot. As far as technology, if we compare it to the M1, I would say honestly that there is a little advantage. So I would probably gain like 10 to 15 yards, honestly. The only problem, obviously, it has to be the same shaft, because with a regular shaft, this in particular is very light, so it's really whippy. So if you start adding more swing speed, you're gonna end it to the right. It will be interesting to try it in a stiff shaft. So if we look at the distance on the M1, you can see that the highest number is like 223, and before that is 208. So there isn't really, on average, is 205, but there isn't really high numbers. Whereas if I look at the SIM Max, you can see that there is a lot of high numbers here, especially here. So basically, when you hit them on the spot, right on the sweet spot, you're going to gain some distance for sure. It's just a matter of getting the right shaft. As far as the looks, I have to be honest, I kind of prefer my M1, the way it looks. But I think it's not, I mean, it wouldn't make that big of a difference, I guess, if I were to play this one. From the bottom, it does look better a little bit, the SIM, I would say. But looking down, from the at address position, for me, I prefer the way the M1 looks. Okay, so let's look at the spin numbers. I know these are wrench balls, so the dimples are all messed up, so it's gonna give me more spin, but all the balls were about the same. So if we compare the spin numbers, you can see that with the SIM Max, it is a little lower anyways. So probably it's gonna be a little lower than the older drivers like the M1. So they do claim that the spin is lower, so I would say that yes, it's probably lower, but you know, probably 5% less. So what I wanted to say is about the club face is that I can definitely feel the ball taking off really hot right on impact. And compared to my M1, the M1 does you get that ball taking off really nice too. But with this one, you can definitely see that there is more technology, and I can literally see the ball taking off faster. I would just be careful because if you're getting a new driver, if you're thinking about the SIM2, I will make sure you get the right shaft, because the shaft that I just tried, that regular shaft is definitely not for me. I'm gonna lose them too much to the right. But if I look at the club face and the ball speed, I'm definitely generating a lot more distance than my current M1. And I can tell you it's not just the shaft, because I have I tried the M1 with a regular shaft, and I do not get that distance as the SIM2. Okay, so let's look at the ball speed. Here is the M1, and you can see the average is 130, but most of the numbers here are very consistent. So 128, 131. So ball speed about 130. But if I look at the SIM, the ball speed, it says average 133, just a little more. But if I look at the numbers, there's so many high numbers in here, 138, 137. Considering obviously that this is a range ball, 136. So I would say the average is not, it's probably a little bit higher. So you can definitely see, because of the club face, the ball speed increases for sure. So overall, I would say if I had the chance, I would definitely, I think I would try it in a stiff shaft and take it to the course and try it. So, but they claim that it has more distance, and I would have to agree with that. Definitely, you're gonna get more distance with the SIM2 Max. But remember that you need to get the right shaft, because if you don't get the right shaft, it doesn't matter if you carry more distance if you're gonna lose it to the right or to the left. So it's not gonna be you're not gonna be efficient like that. It's just gonna get more distance, but it's gonna be in the hazard or just out of line. Well, definitely I would recommend the SIM2 Max, but obviously for me, if I were to buy it, I would have to test it out at the course, because that's where you really know if you're really gonna need that much distance. I think I'm pretty certain that you get about 15 to 20 yards more, definitely. But I'm just concerned about getting the right shaft with it. So if you're thinking about buying it, just make sure to get fitted for the right shaft. Okay guys, so that was it for the video. Hope you like it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time.